My girlfriend's wealthy family thought I was a gold digger until they discovered I owned their entire empire. So I'm dating this amazing girl Ella for 8 months, and her parents finally invite me to their mansion for dinner. I pull up in my beat-up Honda, and her dad's handshake feels like touching a dead fish while he's eyeing my thrift store shirt. The valet actually tried to wave me away, thinking I was lost until Ella came running out. "He's with me," she had to shout twice before they'd take my keys. Dinner was basically an interrogation disguised as small talk. "So what do your parents do?" her mom asks, voice dripping with fake politeness. I mentioned my dad's in construction, and I swear I could hear their opinion of me dropping through the floor. Her mom literally pursed her lips and said, "Oh, how industrious," like I'd admitted to circus work. Her father, let's call him Richard, because of course starts making these pointed comments about Ella's trust fund. "You know, relationships work better when both people contribute equally," he says, cutting his steak like he's performing surgery. He actually pulled out investment portfolios during the main course, showing Ella what her future husband's finances should look like. The message was crystal clear. But that's not even the worst part. Her brother Marcus straight up asks if I've ever been to a 5-star restaurant or owned a suit that wasn't rented. "Do you even know which fork to use?" he added, pointing at my salad fork touching my dinner fork like I committed a war crime. The whole family's laughing like it's the funniest thing ever while I'm sitting there trying not to lose my shut. The weekend gets progressively worse. They're talking around me about their yacht club, their Aspen ski house, their art collection, all while watching my face for signs of greed. Marcus showed photos of their new Ferrari, asking if I knew what real horsepower felt like, while glancing at my Honda keys on the table. Her mom pulls me aside and says, Ella deserves someone who can provide for her, someone from her world. She actually handed me a check for $50,000 to help with moving on and finding someone more suitable for my station. The final insult was when Richard pulls Ella aside during dessert, loud enough for me to hear, warning her about men who target wealthy women and suggesting she explore other options before making serious commitments. Hands her a business card for some approved bachelor from their country club. "Preston comes from good stock," he said. "His father and I summer together in the Hamptons." That's when I realized these people needed a reality check they'd never forget. See, here's what her family didn't know about me. I'd been keeping my background private because I wanted Ella to like me for me, not my bank account. My last name would give away that my family owns a huge construction group, the group that just acquired the shipping contracts for half the East Coast. I'd been working the acquisition deal for months, and it just so happened that their industry was one of our new, how do I put this, tenants. They leased their warehouse space from the Port Authority, and we just bought controlling interest in their entire operation. Richard had been bragging about his empire all night, not knowing his empire sat on land my family now owned. I made a quick call to my assistant before dessert, asking her to finalize the paperwork that night. The timing was going to be absolutely perfect. We're sitting around their fancy dining table, and Richard's still going on about how Ella needs someone financially stable when my phone rings. I normally wouldn't answer during dinner, but this was too good to pass up. "Sir, the industry's acquisition is complete," my assistant's voice carries across the dead silent table. "The $300 million shipping contract is ready for your signature. Should I send the new lease terms to their office Monday morning?" I made sure to put it on speaker, watching their faces change as she continued. "Also, your father wants to know if you'll be taking the jet back to Singapore for the board meeting." You could hear a pin drop. Richard's face went from smug to confused to absolutely horrified in about 3 seconds flat. "Wait," Ella says, staring at me. "Your last name? Your family owns that construction company?" Ella's mom literally dropped her wine glass. The $50,000 check she'd given me fluttered to the floor between us. Pocket change compared to what my family made in an hour. Her brother's mouth was hanging open like a fish. But Richard? Richard looked like he was about to throw up when he realized his family's business now answered to the broke college kid he'd been insulting all weekend. The apologies came fast and desperate, but the damage was done. "We had no idea," Richard stammered. "Why didn't you say something?" I picked up the business card for Preston and said, "I wanted to see if Ella's family would accept me for who I am." Guess I got my answer. Ella and I had a long conversation about honesty from both sides. She understood why I'd kept quiet, but wasn't thrilled about the deception. Richard's company is still our tenant, by the way. Professional relationship only. His lease renewal negotiations were interesting. Let's just say he's much more polite in business meetings now. Ella and I broke up a few months later. Turns out we had trust issues to work through, but she sends me Christmas cards now, which is nice. Last year's card mentioned she was engaged to someone her parents hate, a public school teacher. "Thanks for showing me what really matters," she wrote. "Sometimes the best revenge is just letting people show you exactly who they are, then showing them exactly who you are."